Commissioner Randy Quinn. Next to him is Commissioner Pete Zarisky. On my right is Commissioner James Potter, and our recording secretary, Cindy Beck. Next to her is our illustrious Commissioner, Frank Klein, who's been with me for the last 50 years or something like that. 28. And on his right is our engineer, Justin Cliff. Questions on that? All right. Thank you very much for coming tonight for our March meeting. April meeting, I'm sorry. April. I missed the March. I was back in a month. On our April meeting of the Upper Mount Buffalo Township Planning Commission. At this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Good. Please step to the podium and give your name and address, please.
Good evening. Let me see. We don't have that.
We'll listen. Very good.
Okay. Good evening, Fred Clark, Crystal Terrace, Upper Mount Bethel. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Today, I would like to speak about why we hire and listen to our experts. In preparing for a DEP hearing on a proposed development, I spent a lot of time reviewing supporting documentation prepared by the applicant's engineering firm. As a degreed engineer with a lifetime interest in geology and other sciences, I was able to understand much of the material, but a substantial amount of it was outside of my areas of expertise, and I lacked the experience to validate the calculations and conclusions presented to the DEP. Indeed, even the very capable engineering firm for the developer had to hire experts in hydrogeology, soils, environmental assessments, etc., to prepare the package of information. Given that experienced engineers were challenged by the scope of the analysis required to develop and evaluate the plan's environmental risk, it was clear how important it was for those reviewing and approving such plans to have experts on staff that can provide guidance on the adequacy of supporting documentation and how to mitigate the risk the proposals present. When dealing with real estate transactions, sellers rely on the expertise of their licensed real estate agent to set the best price, and lenders rely on the expert opinions of their appraisers to ensure they are lending based on a market-supported value for the property to minimize the risk. When insurance agencies write policies, they rely on professional actuaries to ensure they have properly evaluated the risk in the policy. In all these cases, the individuals recognize the limits of their knowledge and assess the risk based on the guidance of their designated expert. I have noticed on the town website the town website does not have PE, licensed professional engineer, listed in any of the voting planning commission members' titles. Of course, it is not necessary for anyone on the commission to have that certification because you've hired someone to apprise you of the engineering risk inherent to the plans presented to you, Justin Coyle. When it comes to some process reviews with large inherent risks, the Commission has sided with the developers' experts over their own in more than a few cases. This is like a lender siding with the seller's opinion on the market value of a home over that of their own appraiser. The risk to the town is unbounded if this pattern continues. To quote a famous line, a man's got to know his limitations. Please recognize yours and defer to your expert, not theirs. Since the Board of Supervisors is likely to follow the guidance of your shared engineer when reviewing recommendations from this commission, logic follows that approvals could be gained in a timelier manner if your decisions followed his guidance as well. Thank you.
Fred. Is there anyone else? That's good.
Well, Mr. Keel, it's good to see you back. We missed you last month, but we also missed RPL. RPL looks like, according to the agenda for today, is applying for final land development approval. And I would like to know, have we seen these plans yet? And is the board ready to review them? If it gets tabled today, there's only one planning commission meeting left before these plans expire. I wouldn't say anything, but Mr. Kaplan is very concerned about us delaying his project. So right now, since they're not here, and I'm wondering if these things are going to be tabled, perhaps it's the developer who may be delaying these projects. And I would ask you guys to review them if you've seen those plans, regardless of whether they're here or not. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? If there's nobody else, I will address Mr. Metzger's questions. Yes, we are tabling. I've been requested to table RPL tonight, and a couple of others, because they were simply not ready. They say they got their plans a little bit late for them to review them to bring it tonight. So please understand that. If you're here specifically for them, you won't hear that tonight. Is that clear with everybody? I try to tell you up front and let you involved with everything. That's the way I have been for the last 28 years that Frank and I have sat on this commission. And no, I do not have an engineer degree. That's his job, not mine. Okay? Okay, is there anything else? Any questions? Oh, Fran?
Yeah, I know we have a expiration date. Now, if it goes towards that expiration date, will he extend it?
That's up to them.
But
If he doesn't, we refer to our solicitor. If he doesn't, then it deems rejected.
Well, if he doesn't extend, then you have to have a meeting to recommend rejection if it doesn't meet the engineer's requirements, and then the board of supervisors would have to have a meeting to formally then act on your recommendation, all before the time expires. Now, when the time expire on these things, the 29th.
I have to read each one.
Yeah. So
well,
that's why I'm just
I
saying
was
the
I was afraid if
29th.
he kept going and going, then he will charge us.
You could recommend approval or disapproval, whatever, on May 15, which is the third Wednesday. The board then meets on May 27. I don't know if it's meeting on the 27th. It could be the holiday, but they have a whole week and a half to meet before May 29, so they can then act on it. And if they don't have a meeting date set, they can set a meeting on 24 hours notice.
And then the public will be notified.
Yes. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Anybody else? With that, I'd like to move on. Approval of the minutes, March 20th, 2024. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? So I wasn't there, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Klein. Second by Mr. Crane. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's on the approval of the minutes. Let's move right into subdivisions. As I stated just a minute ago, River Point Logistics Center LLC final subdivision roadway infrastructure submitted September 18th, 2023. Official action expires May 29th, 2024. I've been requested that we table this. I'll make the motion, we table it.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Klein. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any questions on any of these that we tabled? Anybody else can jump in? So moved. Now we'll get right into B, Philip Jones. That's what we're hearing tonight, I guess. Philip Jones, minor subdivision number 2, submitted on February 19th, 2024. LBC letter received on March 11th, 2024. Official action expires May 21st, 2024.
And you should know on that, Mr. Chair, is because they filed a revised plan as of March 27, the new expiration date is June 25, 2024.
Please note that. We have their engineer here, I believe, Mr. Paul. Is that what you're doing now?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
You want to present your case first?
Certainly. I know, Attorney here wasn't here last month, but we did have a discussion about Mr. Jones's, situation with the, assessor's office. And
Scott, let me stop you for a minute. Just say your full name for the record and your position for your applicant.
all right, Scott Polisali, Policelli. I'm the land surveyor representing Mr. Philip Jones in this plan.
Good.
Okay. As I was saying, we had pretty good discussion about Mr. Jones's position with the assessor's office and the position he's in there, and how we are presenting this plan to work with everyone to achieve his ultimate goal of being able to convey his 5.9 approximate acres as a whole 3 years from now. With that, I know Justin has made his revised review based on the revised plan, and I guess we'll pass it over to him.
Justin?
Thank you. You can go through the updated letter, April 16th. This is for the second review for the proposed minor subdivision plan. We can kind of skip over to second page, zoning. Remember last month there was an issue with the, we received a letter from the zoning officer basically stating no new lot shall be created which does not have direct access to a street as herein. Such access portion should have a right-of-way width of at least 33 feet, or as required by the township subdivision landowner, whenever it gets greater. And they subsequently have changed the plan and now provides for a 33-foot wide access easement from Lot 1A, from Hyden Road through Lot 1A to Lot 1C. So we're just requesting that the zoning officer provide a follow-up review in that matter.
I did mention to Tina this morning, asking her if she had such a second review, and at the end of my workday, I had not yet heard from her, so I don't know if anyone else has or not. So we can pursue that correspondence from her.
Okay. And then moving on to the saldo items, which is pretty much under our purview. One is just a note as far as how we're reviewing the subdivision plan. 2, it references the owner's statement shall be executed and notarized. That's typically a conditional item. 3, a list of requested waivers have been added to the plan. We can get to those once we get through the saldo items. 4 deals with the outstanding zoning ordinance issue we just talked about with the access, provided we get a letter or some type of comment review from the zoning officer. That issue may be resolved. 5 deals with the scale of the plan for the location map. We'll circle back to that if you want to put a little asterisk. That's a typical dimensional variance or dimensional waiver that the planning commission typically recommends. 6 has been addressed, is referencing the DEP soil classifications. 7, I would put an asterisk on. That's all lots shall abut on a street. The applicant has requested a waiver from this ordinance section. 8, the plan shall include a primary leach field site that ties to lot corners. That comment has been addressed. 9, all newly proposed lots shall be required to provide a fully tested and approved primary and fully tested and approved replacement absorption area. That's an asterisk as well. They requested a waiver from that section.
I'm trying to get the alternate SEO's opinion on that in writing,
Okay.
which you have later on in your comment.
Okay, we can circle back to that. The driveway location, that's per the ordinance. We would request that that be submitted as a waiver as well, given the very unique, if you want to call it, type of plan here as far as the temporary lots, and then it's going to be ultimately reconsolidated in the future. We can talk about that as far as waiver request, but that's for number 10. 11 has been addressed. Any deed restrictions that can be forwarded to the township solicitor. 13 is just adding just a note as far as from Saldo. Lehigh Valley Planning Commission review. Have we received that?
We have, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so 14 is taken care of. All utilities, as far as the septic and the water, are taken care of. Comments from the alternate SEO shall be considered. Input from the alternate SEO is required. is requested for the requirement for the secondary absorption area on lot 1A. That does kind of tie back into number 9. So I put an asterisk on that. We'll readdress it as soon as we get through these. And then 17, an agreement to guarantee the plaintiff's securities in a written agreement satisfactory to the township solicitor. Roadway dedication, looking for a legal description and exhibit for the area to be dedicated via an easement. That's the typical legal description and exhibit sketch to be submitted to the solicitor for the deed of easement to be prepared. So that's typically a conditional item. And then we're asking for comments from our illustrious township solicitor to be addressed as necessary. So for all intents and purposes, given, like I said, given the unique nature of the plan, the temporary lots proposed. Obviously, this is dealing with the Act 319. We did receive the letter from the county assessor's office. The applicant did receive direction in that matter, so we feel that the planning commission is in a position to walk through these waivers and then consider preliminary final conditional approval. So with that, can we circle back unless the planning commission has any comments or questions? We can circle back to the waivers if you'd like.
Yes. Go back to the waivers.
Okay. So number 5 deals with the location map at a scale of 1:800, showing the relation of the site to adjoining property, streets, street names, zoning district boundaries, etc. within 1,000 feet. The applicants requested a waiver from this ordinance. Given that it's drawn to 1:1 equals 1,000.
So, Frank, are you making that motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Questions?
I didn't hear you.
That
Oh,
we give a
motion
waiver
that we-
Oh, we get the waiver.
on number 5.
This is actually the only thing that we can do.
The scale, you can actually grant the waiver, you don't have to- it's not just a recommendation.
But power to the people.
It's the motion. Motion that we grant the waiver. Okay. I second it. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
We grant it.
And then number 7 is a waiver request. This is in reference to all lots shall abut on the street. They have provided a 30-foot wide access easement. So you could argue that this is a modification from the requirement. Like I said, we do support a waiver / modification for Saldo section 400.4.1 about all lots shall abut on the street.
This is there providing how big of an easement?
30-foot wide access easement from the right-of-way back to the
Is it not 33?
33.
what did I say, 30?
33.
33 foot wide. I have this printed on.
Access easement?
Access easement, yes. It should be labeled as access easement on the plan.
So then I it's probably modification, but all right. So a motion can be made as to whether the commission would want to recommend that or not. That will need to go to the supervisors.
Yes. Motion's been made by Commissioner Crane and second by Commissioner Sarinsky. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's been made and granted, going to the Board of Supervisors for their approval. And Justin?
Number 9, all newly proposed lots shall be required to provide a fully tested and approved primary and a fully tested and approved replacement absorption area for on-lot septic, Saldo section 400.4.5. And this pertains to the 2 lots that are basically temporary in nature, proposed as non-buildable lots. This does tie into number 16 as well. We're just asking for a recommendation or comment from the alternate SEO, given the applicant's planning professional is the township SEO. So we're just asking for, we would give a favorable waiver request provided the alternate SEO is in agreement with that request.
Correct, yeah, providing he agrees, yeah.
Thank you.
I hear a motion.
I'll make the motion.
So we should just have it documented that we need something written from the alternate SEO. This is acceptable.
With the condition that the alternate SEO approves of it. Motion's been made,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Klein. All those in favor? Aye.
Number 10, although I don't believe it was requested, we are recommending Saldo section 302.4.7.9 in relation to a driveway location for each lot being shown. We recommend a waiver in that matter in reference to the temporary lots being shown.
You are correct there, Justin. I failed to include that one in my request, but I'll include that with the list in writing on the plan in that letter.
Which number is that?
10.
10. And then for those of us playing along at home, just so I'm clear, this is a minor subdivision, Mr. Solicitor, right? So the waivers do not need to be sent to the adjoining property owners, is that correct?
Correct. On minor subdivision, the waivers do not need to be sent out, only on major subdivisions and land development plans.
Thank you very much.
I'll make that motion.
Motion been made by Klein. Second by Randy Klein. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
And I would ask you, Scott, if you could amend your letter of March 27 to include that waiver and a line or two as to why it should be granted, etc. Usual routine, but
Certainly,
amend that letter so this way then I can just attach it to the Saldo waiver form.
certainly. And I'd like to just to fill in a few comments. The deed restrictions, yes, there will be deed restrictions because of the nature of the plan, and those will all be coordinated with your solicitor. And the agreement, again, detailing the nature of this plan and its intent and keeping everything in order with the applicant. So with that being said, I don't know if you guys feel comfortable enough with a conditional approval, or you want us to come back with some more of these answers. Either way, it's fine with us. Whatever you want to do.
If the commission would be of a mind for a conditional approval, I'd ask that I be given an opportunity to review the conditional approval form with the engineer to see what still needs to be outstanding. If the commission is not of a mind yet to consider a conditional approval, then obviously I won't do that.
I think one of the most important things is the zoning officer's input on the revised plan. So if you want to wait on that, we understand. Again,
I'll make the motion that we table it for tonight. And that I believe that you can do all of that in the next 30 days.
Yes.
And bring it into us a little clearer.
Yeah.
It'll give our solicitor a little time to look it over. And do the things that we need to do in our due diligence.
yes. And now we know the direction the waivers are going in, and we can proceed with those legal documents. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'll second. Okay.
Hey, jumped right along. Second by Frank. All those in favor?
Aye.
We table. Okay. Next, moving right along. Under B, subdivision, Philip Jones, minor subdivision number 2. Submitted letter.
That's what we just did. We're all done.
Oh, we're on C. I'm sorry.
Lot.
It's been a long lot line adjustment, Kyle Good.
Mr. Fleischer is here on behalf of the applicant with respect to this matter. So I would ask that Mr. Fleischer just explain the plan for a moment to the commission, and then Justin did do a review. He can then tell us where he stands with his review.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Fleischer with State Line Engineering. This is a lot line adjustment plan involving 2 single-family dwellings, 318 Five Points Richmond Road and 352 Five Points Richmond Road. I think it's approximately, basically taking 10 acres and swapping it to 352 5 Points Richmond Road. It's going to reduce the residual, or what we'll call Lot B, which is 318 5 Points Richmond Road. That lot's going to get smaller, and the other lot's going to get larger.
And there's no new development or anything?
There is no development.
No earth moving, any of that kind of jazz, simply just changing lot lines. All right, Justin, you're on. If you would like to review your letter or review the matter in general.
Sure, we'll go through it. The letter's pretty straightforward. Lot line adjustments usually are pretty straightforward. If you remember, the township has ordinance 2016-03 about lot lines, annexations, whatnot, so it kind of gives a streamlined process, which is what we follow. I also handed out a colored map. It is kind of helpful to look at the because of all the different lines on the plan. So as far as the boundary of the properties are shown in the highlighted yellow. There's an orange line that runs basically left to right towards the center of the page. That lot line will be deleted, and thereby creating Lot A, which will be about 13.5 acres in size, and then the Lot B remaining will be approximately 2 acres in size. So essentially, removing a lot line and adding lot lines, but they are not creating an additional lot. Thereby, it does meet the definition of the lot line adjustment and annexation ordinance. So just a couple of very minor comments. One is typically just the notarized owner statement that can be done. Two is in reference to the scale of the drawing. The plans were drawn at 1:60. The saldo requires 1:50. Given the tract size, we don't take exception to the drawing scale. We can circle back on that waiver request. Existing and proposed property lines shall be more distinguished as far as the weight of the line types in AutoCAD. So that's just a drafting item. The existing and proposed lot sizes shall be indicated on the plan. They do provide a lot table. We were just looking for it to be added to the actual under the mentioning of the lots, Lots A and Lot B. Zoning officer shall be consulted for the official zoning ordinance compliance. I don't believe there should be any zoning issues. Typically, if there is a lot line adjustment and it meets the ordinance, even the lot that is being reduced in size typically can be reduced below what's required in the zoning ordinance, but we do not have that instance in this case. Therefore, I do not foresee any zoning issues or zoning matters.
I apologize, Justin, for interrupting, but I did get an email with a letter from Tina this afternoon, which indicates that planning for lot line adjustment, increasing lot size, just like you said. The lots as shown on the plan meet the requirements of the minimum lot size for the R1 zone.
Justin, I have that letter.
I think it's in the packet. Yeah. So that number 5 has been addressed. 6 is the typical providing a property corner monumentation letter as far as certification for the pins and monuments to be installed prior to plan recording. That's a typical conditional item. 7 deals with labeling of the lots, and then 8 deals with the typical review and signature by the LVPC will be required.
I have that also.
Yep. So, and then the last but not least, typically we run into these where they do a lot line adjustment. One of the lots gets reduced in size, and then alternate septic testing is not provided. In this matter, they did actually provide septic testing for a reserved site that's shown as the roads are shown as the triangles colored in right there. So they did do alternate septic testing. We didn't ask for a letter from the Township SEO. If you feel that's necessary, you can do so and make that a condition of approval. That's all I had. Short and sweet.
Ron, do you have anything?
So do you believe, let me just ask this question to Chair then, sorry to interrupt, do you believe that this matter would be in position for conditional, preliminary, and final plan approval?
Yes, Glenn? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so then I'll review the form, but let's have the Chair first ask or review any questions that may be.
Questions from the commissioners?
Well, straightforward.
Yeah.
All right, so then let me review the form here. I'll go down the list here. Planning module approval or exemption.
Not applicable.
PNDI,
and then
Exclusion Enforcement Officer review and or approval
needed.
needed, so that is to be done.
To be done.
All right, the next one is zoning officer review, but that's been done. Lehigh Valley Planning Commission review, that's been done. Do we need a conservation district review?
No.
Any soil erosion, sedimentation, or other type of stormwater management plan?
No.
Do we need a PennDOT or township driveway permit?
No.
Do we need any other types of permits like NPDES, et cetera?
No.
All right, I'm gonna put here compliance with the engineer's review letter of, what is it, April 16th. We have any deed of dedication for streets?
No.
Do we need unification and merger deeds because these lots are being chopped up?
Yes.
For any specific lot or both lots?
Both lots. Yes.
Okay.
We'll provide all those descriptions for review.
That's fine. Just go through the form here right now. All right, do we need any grants of easements for any rights of way?
No.
Any miscellaneous agreements?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay. We have no improvements or maintenance agreement because there is no development, correct?
Correct.
Do we have any park recreation open space fees?
No. No new lots are being created.
Monuments, pins, and markers to be set in the field and certified in writing by applicants, engineer, or planning professional.
To be done.
All right, the plan to be signed, plan to be notarized, and there would be action needed by the commission on the plan scale, which again, you can grant if you wish. I think, again, as Justin says, the plan scale is supposed to be 1 inch equals 50 feet. The plan was drawn as 1 inch equals 60 feet.
Take care of that right now.
You can take care of that right now.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Klein, second by Commissioner Sarisky. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so let me go through these conditions to make sure the commission is aware of them. And the applicant is aware of them because I'm gonna have to ask the applicant's planning professional or the applicant, if they are here, to sign this form. So the conditions are Exclusion Enforcement Officer review and approval, compliance with the outstanding conditions not yet done in Township Engineer Review Letter of April 16, 2024, unification and merger deeds for both lots, the saldo waiver that was just granted to be noted on the plan, plan to be signed, and plan to be notarized. All right, Brian, if you're good with this, or if the
Just
applicant's here.
The letter from the SEO, Justin, you just want something from Scott that is what we did, right?
Yes. Just something on the letterhead.
On the bottom, and then I'll, send this to you. All right, so the record should reflect that the applicant's authorized planning professional, Mr. Peischer, has signed the agreement for conditional plan approval, and this would be a conditional recommendation for conditional approval, both preliminary and final. So if there's any discussion, fine. If not,
Discussion first. I'll make the motion to give it conditional approval.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Klein. All those in favor?
Aye.
all right.
Thank you very much.
All right, Brian, I'll send this to you, and then we probably would put it on for, even though you may not have the letter yet from Mr. Policelli, but for supervisors, I don't think it'll be next Monday, though. I don't think it'll be that quick. But check just to be sure, because obviously you need to be here so that if there's any questions,
Yeah.
you can be asked. So
We'll get all the
it could be as
documentation.
early as next Monday. I mean, it's possible.
Okay. Well, I'll follow up with the township.
Check with the big boss over there, Cindy, and she'll tell you what's going on.
Will do.
Yeah, I certainly give you a call. All right, take care. Thank you.
Keep it going, I gotta read. Under for land development plan, Lamb Tech Corporation Building Addition Project. I've been asked to be tabled. And expires on May 21st, 2024. Was there a motion to table?
Make it.
Motion made by Mr. Crane,
Second.
second by Mr.
Do we need an extension?
You would probably need something.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
you'll
need some
make,
wiggle
you'll
room.
make next week's or next month's planning meeting, which is, what was again, what did I say, 15th or something like that?
Yeah, but in case there's some.
But then you're not gonna have enough time to get it before the supervisor, so.
Cindy, you can make a motion that, or make a note that reach out to them to, ask them to extend it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, all those in favor of tabling it? Under B, River Point Logistics Center LLC final plan, roadway infrastructure expires on May 29th. I'll make a motion we table it.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Under C, on the backside of the page, moving right along here. River Point Logistics LLC, lot 1. It's been, requested that we table that. It expires on May 29th, 2024. I'll make a motion to table it.
Second.
Second by Jimmy Potter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Under D, River Point Logistics LLC, Lot 2. It expires on May 29th, 2024. It's been requested that we table that. I'll make that motion. We table that. Second. Second by Mr. Crane. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Last but not least, E, River Point Logistics LLC, Lot 6. It has been requested that we table that. May 29th as it expires. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Potter. Second. All those in favor?
May I ask the engineer a question, Mr. Chair?
Absolutely.
Justin, you had sent an April 16 final land development plan for lot number 2 review. Is that for this lot number 2, or is it some other lot that
This lot number 2, correct,
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the only one
that was resubmitted, correct.
that was, okay, and you know when that resubmission date was? Because it might make a difference with respect to the
It
time.
was March. I don't have the letter with me.
I'm looking at here, you want to see the front of your letter?
I don't
Maybe?
have my letter. Oh, you have my letter?
Yeah, that tells me the date.
That
There's
looks
too many
familiar.
dates there. Too many dates there. I'm an old man. You gotta highlight stuff for me.
March 27th.
March 27th. Okay, so if that's the same then as was done with, what was it, Philip Jones? Yes, file on March 27th. This would also then expire June 25. So that one you'd have a little extra room on that. The other ones you would not.
On lot 2.
Lot 2, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from any of the commissioners? I was gonna talk about the River Point, video that Justin did with John Birmingham, but I think it's kind of old news now. I understand they talked about it last night. So if you haven't seen it, Justin and John did it on, July 10th, 2020. So if you haven't, it was on Facebook, if you haven't had a chance to see it, you should see it.
4 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, time flies.
Yeah. But time flies when they're having fun. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Meeting's adjourned, thank you very much.